everybody. It's been a while since I've had time to put anything up, but due to some circumstances I'll explain here in a minute, I've not been able to get any work done on the house, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to share with you where we're at to this point. And it's a gorgeous morning out here. Good chance to get out and show the outside of the house for a second and show you where we're at. So, alrighty. As you can see, we've been getting some snow. We've actually had a really good winter so far this year. We've been getting lots of snow, lots of moisture that this area desperately needs. It's not the best winter for living in a fifth wheel, but we're getting through. Everybody's happy and healthy, so no complaints. We need the moisture. Anyways, so I think you've just seen where we're at this point out front. I mean, pretty much done. There's a little bit of adobe over the entryway. I don't want to slog through the snow, but other than that, just a tiny bit of adobe in the garage, and we're completely done doing adobe. But the home's completely closed in, insulated, no air drafts or anything coming in, so we can heat it up in there. So let's walk over this way and make our way around the house. So there's our garage door that Brittany and I, it was white, and we did a faux wood tone on it. When we oil the posts and stuff, they'll be closer to the color of it. So not a perfect match, but we're pretty happy with it. We'll look up close. You know, it even has some kind of burned tone, because that's what we're doing with all the rough sawn lumber, is we're just burning it and then gonna oil it. So we got our gas meter hooked up about 2 weeks ago, just before the few snowstorms came in. We're stoked about that. We're not using it yet, waiting for a plumber to tie in my boiler system so we can use that. We got our main power going now as of about a week ago. So we've actually got lights in the house now. And it's a beautiful thing. We got our main water hooked up. You can see this mess over here. Me and the boys finished about 9:30 at night, just as it was already snowing on us. Tried to backfill best we could. We're getting stuck because it was already getting mucky and messy, but we got the water hooked up. We'll have to wait till things dry up and get some better compaction and grade this all out, but it's a mess right now. Alright, as I go through this and show you the house, I think I'll take the opportunity to kind of explain the house and the design. So if you look down this porch, it's kind of like a hallway. It's only 5 feet is the width of this porch, and there's a purpose for that. The rest of the porch all the way around the house is 8 feet. This home is a passive solar design. So as we go, you know, one of the things we're still waiting on, the window guys have got to put the brick molding and cover up that trim there, but they had to special order some longer pieces that didn't come, and anyway, still waiting for them to do that. Still got to finish the soffit, and I'm waiting for a little bit warmer weather to come outside. There's plenty to do inside while it's cold, so that's where my focus is right now. So we make our way down here, come inside. Alright, so let me first take a moment to explain the design of the house, why we did what we did. So, come in here, this is the master bedroom. Every bedroom is on the south side of the house, and the main living area is. And every one of them has a big window like that. You can see the sun coming in to help keep the house warm. The back porch, as I showed you a minute ago, is sized perfectly so that by, I believe it's just the beginning of May, the sun will not be able to come in anymore. As it starts to warm up outside, the sun will be higher in the sky and the sun won't come in the windows and will stop warming the house. And so each main living space and bedroom has big southern facing windows, as much glass as we could get. You come into down the hall here, you see the yellow glow from Mesa and Abby's room, but which they're already making use of. So it's got a big window. Come into the boys' room and big window. So in the summer, the sun won't come in, in the winter it will, and help with heating the place. Also, the adobe is a big part of the design. It's the thermal mass. Adobe retains temperature. It's not an insulator, it has a U value. It retains temperature for a long time. So whatever temperature you bring it to, it takes basically an hour per inch of thickness to change. So the outside temperature takes an hour per inch to make it inside. So what that does, like in the summer, when it cools down at night, you know, up here we cool down to around 60 on average every night in the middle of the summer. So all night long as the adobe's cooling, that cool temperature is slowly making its way through the wall. And by the time it gets to the mid-afternoon, that cool temperature is coming in, and the warm temperature from the 100 degrees outside is warming the outside wall, and it's slowly making its way in. So that by midnight, it's the warmth of the wall is coming in exchange, and it's just this rotation. So what it literally ends up doing is it averages out. So your mass, when you have the right thickness, 14 inches is the thickness of these walls, your mass averages out. So our average temperature of the mass is gonna be right around 75, 78 degrees. So the home is going to try its best, without any added heat or whatever we add from living, to stay at 75, 78 degrees. So each bedroom has a thermal mass wall associated with it. This is the boys' room again. This is the girls' room. And then the master bedroom has two. Figure we're gonna be here the longest. Just put a little bit extra into that. We've got this big thermal mass wall, which is also part of the living room. The living room has two thermal mass walls. So for passive solar in the winter, obviously if there's no source of heat, then, and it never gets above, like say this week it's not got above 40 degrees or so, well then your thermal mass is going to be 40 degrees and you're going to have a cold house. So the sun coming in the windows helps to bring that up. All on its own, not enough. So you have to have some other source of heating the place. We have a wood stove, which is actually doing really good all on its own. We come in every morning and fire it up and keep it going. But that's really gonna kind of not get used much. What we really have to warm the place up and keep the temperature good in the winter is we've got these concrete floors, and we have a radiant floor system running through the whole house. Right here you can see, so I've got 3 different zones. I've got this zone back here. I'll have to trim this out, make it look a little better, but this zone here, opens this way, which is the kids' room. You got a return and a supply line. So there's two lines for each, one for each bedroom on the supply and the return. So one is for each bedroom, and here you can turn one all the way off, or you can choke it down and keep one room cooler if you want. But this is the zone for that. Then we've got this zone here, which is for the main living space, kitchen. Obviously there's a lot more single zones within that zone, but you can, same thing, choke them down and cool off one area relative to the others. All right, and then real quickly, I think I called it a radiant floor system. It's a in-floor radiant heating system. So just to clarify that. And then we've got this is where the access panel and all the winter clothing, and oops, snowboard down under there. This is the access panel for the master bathroom and bedroom. It's got 2 zones within it, and so that you can keep the bedroom warmer or cooler relative to the bathroom and closet. So, all right, let me go show you the heart of the system. Okay, out here in the garage, we've got this insulated corner closet. It's our mechanical room. And this is the boiler system. It's a Norritz boiler. It's a 2-part system. Half of the boiler is just dedicated to the domestic hot water, and the other half of the boiler is dedicated just to the in-floor radiant heating. This is the mechanical panel. You can see the down there you've got the 3 different zones. Those are connected to the thermostats, so that each zone also has its own thermostat. There's a thermostat by the kids' room, there's one in the living area, and then there's one in the master bedroom. So not only can you choke them down individually at the control panels I just showed you, you can also set them by thermostat just in each individual zone. So if you want, you can, when the kids move out and there's nobody in there, you can turn that zone way down and keep the main living room and your bedroom warm, or whatever you want. But so this is where you got your supply. 3 of those are a supply, where the hot water goes out into each zone and then is divided further in those panels I showed you. And then you've got 3 of them are where the water comes back to go through the heater again. And yeah, I guess that's it. This thing just had to be vented. You've got one of these, they join up in the attic and leave the roof as one single vent. I forget what it's called, the type of vent, but so you only have one hole through your roof, but one is combustion air in and one is exhaust out. So pretty cool system. Plumber's got to come, he says tomorrow, so hopefully tomorrow he'll come and we'll get this thing going. But he recognized that he had a 3/4 inch supply line, and I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but because it's a bigger supply from the city, when it chokes down to that 3/4, it creates more pressure, and so he has to put a pressure reducer here, so that it, or regulator here, so that it doesn't put too much pressure through the gas into the system. So almost ready to hook up the radiant floor. Excited for that for sure. All right, so the other thing we have designed into the home to help with keeping the temperature where we want it. We did not install an air conditioning unit, and we did not install a furnace. So the radiant floor heating and the wood stove and the sun coming in the windows in the winter is our methods for heat. Our main method for cooling is a whole house air handler. So up in the attic we have an air handler that will be run by a thermostat. The thermostat will be right here on the wall. It's going to read the temperature in the house and the temperature out on the north porch. Out here on the north porch we have a big air intake. It's an 18-inch line. I'll show you out here. I don't know if we can see it. Yeah, so right there is a big 18-inch air intake. So when the thermostat reads the temperature on the north porch as being below whatever we choose, I don't know, somewhere below 80 degrees. 80 is what we're running our air conditioner all day long to keep our house cool enough in our last home. So somewhere below 80 is what we like. So when the air on the north porch is cool enough and the air on the inside is above a certain temperature, then the air handler will kick on and suck that cool air through and blow it through the house, lowering the temperature of the thermal mass. Now, you know, here, like I said earlier, we, in the middle of summer, our hottest days, you know, we get up 100 degrees, but we always cool down, you know, into the mid 60s. I mean, some of our worst nights are up around 70 something, but even still, all night long if we need, we can suck the cool air in and blow it through the house to bring the temperature down. And we've got this fan control here. It's a 3-speed fan control, so that we can also drop the speed of the air handler so that we're not freezing ourselves out at night. We can just have a nice slow air coming in, lay under blankets, whatever we need to at the night in the summer, and so that we can bring the thermal mass down to get us through the next hot day. So hope it works. We'll let you know. So where are we at on the rest of the house? We are getting close. We don't have any interior doors hung. Our door package is showing up this week, so we should be able to get our interior doors hung. We got some touch-up painting. Obviously we're done, but the bulk of the painting is done. One of the big projects we're working on right now, let me show you in here, is it's not caulk, but it's not grout. It's applied like caulking, but it's a special stuff that goes in between the joints, the saw cuts of the concrete. So you can see this one's filled. But what we have to do is we have to clean each joint, then we have to mask down each side of it, and we have to stuff this. So you can see it here, there's a foam backer rod. You stuff that in there so that because you don't really want to put a really thick, deep, you just want about a 1/4, 3/8 inch deep caulk joint in there. So you run that backer rod in your deep cuts. So we're doing that slowly as we can. We don't want to pull up all the floor covering because we still have tile that has to get done in the master shower. We should have the plumbing for the clawfoot tub in tomorrow, and the plumber's going to do that when he comes. He's doing some of the more critical stuff for me, so I don't mess it up. But I've done all the sinks and the faucets and stuff like that. So this is the master bathroom. We've got his and her side, and we both have our own, I don't know, storage, whatever. And clawfoot tub's gonna go there. Got our walk-in shower. Got this green is waterproofing. We're gonna seal that adobe wall so you can still see it. And then everywhere you see this green is gonna be covered with corrugated metal. So we're gonna have a corrugated metal And you got the closet, you got our safe room there. Keep valuables safe and anything else we need protected in there. At our toilet room, we gotta get the grout or the joint filled before we can put the toilet in, and just haven't made it in here yet. This is the entryway. We're up to here with our the joint filling, and so we've done this bathroom where we actually have a functioning toilet now. This is kind of the guest or common bathroom, and then we have our guest room, library, sitting room, whatever we're going to make it. But it's ready for case and base, and the floors are sealed. And one of my favorite parts of the house, the kitchen. All these cabinets my neighbor made out of the wood that I milled, those bunks of 1x. I gave him some of my best stuff, and he took it and made these beautiful cabinets out of it. This butcher block he made for us, about half of it is out of wood I milled, but didn't have enough of a good hardwood. So he bought some, I think it's maple, I don't really know. I think it was maple. So it's an ash and maple countertop. We got our appliances. Brittany's stoked about that. She actually made a cake in the oven the other night. We are still waiting on the range top. We need just like the floor system, we need a gas regulator under there so we don't blow a 2-foot flame out of the top of this thing. You can look at the cabinets, show the different detail we did. Rather than glass or solid, put this braided woven metal up in there. I think it looks pretty cool. Brittany chose it. We got our old farm sink here. Brittany found that for 50 bucks in California. Cool old sink. We were able to find a brand new faucet for it. I love it. It's old school. We kind of blend a lot of old with some new. Now our island sink here, prep sink or whatever. And come around here, got the pantry and the laundry room. So we just got that laundry with the washer with this is the washer with the other appliances. And Brittany was so excited, ran her first load, and then came out the next morning and the house was flooded. So they're giving us a new one, and concrete floors, hallelujah, just sucked up the water, not a big deal. Okay, so here we are in the garage. We've got that little bit of adobe right there to do to finish hiding that beam, and then some over the entryway, like I said earlier, and then we'll be done completely with adobe. In here you can see some of the bunks of wood that I ended up with after milling the posts and beams for the house. And then I've been taking this and cutting it down. I've got my my casing. So my casing around all my doors is a 4-inch. It's this stuff right here. This is 4-inch. And then my baseboard is this stuff here, which is 5-inch. And I'm going to burn all that and then oil it, and that'll be our case and base for finished carpentry. I'll walk back here, show you the kids' rooms again, or maybe just the kids' bathroom. I think I've shown you the kids' room enough. But so kids' bedroom, Abby and Mesa are gonna have a access door, give the girls access, direct access to the bathroom. Thought that'd be nice. The boys can knock or wait. 2 sinks in here. It's not a big sink area. We kind of put 2 in there, help them get ready. With 5 of them in here. And in the shower, what we're doing on that, we're going to actually cover this adobe with corrugated metal, and we're going to put basically a corrugated metal wall. I'm going to come about right here, 2 foot off of the wall, so that'll be where you step through, and then up right here and that way is going to be a corrugated metal divider, kind of like an outdoor shower look and feel. So that's where we are. All right. Okay, so earlier I mentioned circumstances that have kept me from working on the house, and I said I'd mention them. So about 6 days ago, tomorrow will be a week, it was Monday morning, my son and I got up at 4:30 a.m. to go do an early morning of work, and when we left it was snowing pretty good all the way to work. We drive about 30 minutes to where our business is, and we got a job done and then decided it's just too nasty out here, we're gonna head home. So about 7:30 in the morning we're heading home, and I was letting my son drive. He's a good driver. He's 16, but he's pretty aware. Anyways, we hit some black ice climbing up what they call the Black Ridge here, which is just where our home is. It gets pretty nasty in the winter. And we spun off the road, rolled the truck 3 times, ended up on the roof, completely smashed inside. River, my son, he was okay and able to kick a little bit of the glass out of the way and get himself out of the vehicle, but I was pretty much rolled up into as tight a ball as my body could possibly go. I was pinned in the car, the truck, and couldn't get out. Some bystanders were trying to pull the door open. It wouldn't open. It really wasn't. The whole cab of the truck was smashed down. So my son River was able to climb back in the truck and pull one leg at a time over the center console, and was able to free me and help me slide out of the hole that was left on his side of the truck. Ambulance showed up, took me to the hospital, and yesterday was the first day. I spent the whole day out of bed, still a little painful, but I felt crushed, couldn't breathe, but x-rays ended up showing good. I mean, I thought my sternum was cracked, I thought every rib was broken, is the way it felt, but luckily nothing but a bunch of really strained and stretched muscles. So I spent the next 4 days in bed, couldn't move, couldn't get out, it was tough to breathe. And yesterday was the first day. I spent the whole day out of bed, still a little painful, but spent it all out of bed. Today I'm feeling another step better. I'm gonna spend the whole day out of bed, take an opportunity to put this video together, and both the family, all of us, we're feeling really blessed that nothing more serious happened, and that we can continue this journey with this home, and life could have been a lot worse. So anyways, we'll talk to you later.